What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video at hand, and today I want to talk to you about something that's really been on my mind lately. Now, I've seen with you guys, you have really been enjoying the Nintendo Wii videos that I've been posting lately, so I plan to keep the momentum going with that subject. Now, I have been collecting games for a very long time, and I do my best to make sure that I've got everything in tip-top shape and protected as well as possible. However, we're only human and we make mistakes from time to time. And also here on the channel, I like to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything else that is in between. And I feel after putting some serious thought into whether I want to post this onto the channel or not post this onto the channel, I finally came to the conclusion that I'm going to share with you guys what exactly is going on here in the game room. So without further ado, let's dive right into this video subject, take a look at what exactly is going on here in my game room right after the intro. Alright, so I think it's important that I give a little bit of some backstory to help explain how I ended up with over 300 Wii games that ended up being ruined, along with a few other games here in the collection. So if you are somebody that has been following the channel for a while, you will already know that my bookcases here in the game room are all custom made. Each shelf took me about a month or two to build, and it took a lot of time, a lot of lumber, a lot of paint brushes, etc. I essentially made all these bookshelves because I wanted to make shelves that were custom made to exactly the way that I wanted to display games here in the game room, and I just couldn't find any online or in store, so that is why I decided to make my own bookshelves. I gotta say, they've done an incredible job doing exactly what they're supposed to do. I can help adjust the shelves any way that I want with the adjustable shelves. They look great, they feel sturdy, I'm pretty satisfied with them. However, as the game room continued to expand, I realized that I needed to add more bookshelves here in the game room. And I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of times, right behind me are 4 shelves all next to each other where I've got my original Xbox games, my Wii games, PlayStation 3 games, along with miscellaneous other games from other game consoles. Now, unfortunately, when it was time to build these shelves in the middle of the game room, it was very unfortunate that Home Depot stopped selling the paint that I needed to help create these shelves. The type of paint that I used was a wood-based paint which had polyurethane mixed in it. Now, polyurethane is a material that is used for creating furniture to help give it that glossy finish to it and help feel smooth, of course, after you're done sanding said furniture that you're making. With my favorite paint along with my favorite color for that brand being discontinued, I had to get regular wood paint with the same color and buy separately polyurethane. But I bought my polyurethane in a spray can. Instead of having spray paint come out, it was polyurethane. And when I was building my shelves, didn't seem like anything else or bad was going on. After quite a while, I will probably say about a good 2 to 3 years after building these shelves, I couldn't help but notice sometimes when I would move some of my Wii games, they would have this yellowing on the bottom, and it wasn't like your typical yellowing that you would see on a Nintendo Wii case. This was some pretty extreme yellowing, and unfortunately, after I moved all of my Wii games, they all had yellowing. So I began to check other games here in the game room, and it was very sad and unfortunate to discover all the bookshelves that I used with that spray paint of polyurethane were ending up with those stains on them. Now, strangely enough, it was only like the Wii games and games that were in cardboard cases that were affected by this. Not my original Xbox games, no PS3 games, no PS2 games, no Super Nintendo games or anything else mixed in between, just the Wii games and games that were in cardboard casing. And I couldn't help but see that even games that weren't sitting on the shelf for very long, that they were just recent additions to the game room, were getting affected by this as well. I decided to do was a little experiment where I got some cardboard where it had some white on top of it, and then it was just your regular cardboard on the other side. I put the games where it was like the regular cardboard and the white underneath it to see what exactly was going on. And sadly, to my discovery, every time I would move something off of the shelf, it would get that yellowing underneath it. It was just not a good situation at all. And here I am with 300 plus Wii games and a bunch of games in cardboard cases, mind you, that were special edition releases needing to be replaced. Now, thankfully, those special editions were not very rare or not too expensive, so I had no issue being able to replace those. But when it came to the Wii games, this was where the issue came in. Some of them had different styles of casing, some of them had stickers on them, especially like some of the sports games and the NASCAR games where they're more than like your typical Maddens or whatever. And so many games had different unique cases. It was just a problem. So I'm sure you guys could imagine I was desperate for a solution. After all, I'm talking about over 300 plus Wii games. And how is my collection going to look good if all my Wii games look like this? So I tried Goo Gone rubbing alcohol, that Salon 40 cream that's used to help with yellowing plastic, but this yellowing was from polyurethane instead of sunlight exposure, so I was tackling a very different beast with this. Simply Green, I've even tried painting over it to hopefully see once when the paint dries that it'll look like brand new and that nothing was ever done to it, right? I've tried spray paint, I've tried many different paints from various arts and craft stores. It just was not working. So after doing a bunch of brainstorming, I finally just had to just face reality that these cases are permanently yellowed. I can get rid of some yellowing, but I'm never going to get rid of all of it. And that just was not going to cut it for my collection. So my solution that I came up with was that I was going to buy lots from different yard sales or online or wherever it may be, and with the games that I would normally flip online or locally and games that I already have that I would flip, they would be the ones that I would swap out the cases for. They would be the ones that would get the yellowing, and I would sell those off. And of course, I'm not going to be some scumbag that's going to not tell like the buyer, hey, there's this going on with the game or whatever. I would say whenever I would sell them, please examine all the photos carefully to get the exact condition of the item that you're purchasing. And I would always show the yellowing of these cases. So thankfully, with going with that method, not only am I slowly fixing my Wii collection over time, but I'm also adding games into my collection. Going through this, I've now acquired over 100 some Wii games doing this, and now my Wii collection is getting close to that 500 mark. So I will say, even though this situation does suck, it did introduce me to a new opportunity to also get some new games added into my collection, which is awesome. I want to ask you guys this. If you guys ever dealt with this situation where, you know, you built these bookshelves, you had no issues with them, and now once you tried building these shelves with a new method that you believed was going to work, right? and you end up with all these games that ended up being ruined, would you guys quit? Would you guys try to fix them? Would you guys just downsize and replace the ones that you really care for? Let me know. I would love to know in the comment section down below, because I mean, after all, how was I supposed to know I was going to end up with this problem? I mean, I've built plenty of bookshelves before in the past for my game room, and they didn't get ruined or whatever. Why is it with this spray polyurethane or whatever, now I'm facing this problem? Moving forward, I plan to replace all those shelves that were giving me those polyurethane issues. After all, it would be terrible to do is get new cases, replace those, and then have those get ruined. And of course, I'm going to be leaving that cardboard below, so that way all my new cases will be protected. And I will also be using paint where it's already got polyurethane mixed in, just like the old paint that I used before in the past. Considering the brand no longer makes the paint that I want, I will just have to accept that, hey, I will be using a different type of paint that's probably not going to match the exact same color as I want it to, but I'd rather deal with that than deal with replacing a big number of ruined cases. It's just not fun. But as you can see, sometimes doing things and game collecting and managing a game room isn't always going to be sunshine and rainbows. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. Please be sure to check out these videos here, and here. After all, I post a lot of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So be sure to keep an eye out every Monday and Friday where I upload consistently, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.